接下来，我们将进入本次圆桌的最后一个主题：人工智能安全全球治理。首先，为我们带来主旨演讲的是安·布沃罗女士。安·布沃罗，法国总统人工智能特使，法国高等师范学院董事会主席，为多家公共与私营科技企业及成长型公司提供战略咨询。2024年主持发布《人工智能法国的雄心》报告。他曾任职于法国电信，随后担任全球移动通信协会总干事。他毕业于法国高等师范学院数学专业，拥有人工智能博士学位。Now, let's put our hands together to welcome Dr. Bouverot.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to everyone. It's a great pleasure and it's a great honor to join this conference this afternoon. I would like to thank Concordia. I would like to thank the Chinese government and the organizers of the World AI Conference for inviting me today. I will speak without notes. I wanted to offer a few comments from the AI Action Summit that we organized in Paris. This was the third such summit. The first one was in Bletchley Park. The second was in Seoul. We just organized the one in Paris, and the next one will take place in India. The first summit started on safety. Then Seoul was more focused on innovation, and we decided to focus on action. Why? Because we believe that actually there are both opportunities and risks from AI, and that in both cases, AI will develop into what we humans decide to make it. So it is the actions that we take, both in ensuring that AI develops for everyone and for the common interest, and also the actions that we take against risk that are the valuable things. Let me start by a few of the outcomes from the AI Action Summit. Because we were very much focused on public interest and AI for all, we constructed the summit in a very inclusive way. Of course, we invited governments, but also we invited CEOs and leadership people from AI companies, large and small. We also invited researchers, and we invited NGOs and people who are studying the impacts of AI. In terms of the outcomes, we launched, for example, a foundation for the development of AI for public interest, because we strongly believe that everyone needs to be able to benefit from AI, not just a few companies in a few countries. This foundation, Current AI, has some funding to help develop things like shared databases or also shared open source tools to help the development of AI. Its priority areas are in the area of multilingualism, in the area of health data, and in the area of responsible AI, how to further develop tools like the Roost initiative, which is to develop tools to make the use of AI safer. That's what we launched in the area of AI for public interest. We also were very keen to make sure we had discussions on sustainability of AI and its impact on the planet. I believe it is the first place where at a global conference, we had a discussion both about climate and about AI. As I said, there were previous conferences on AI. Of course, there's lots of conferences on climate, but it's the first time where we brought the two conversations together, both from the perspective of the huge energy needs from AI and the impact of AI on the planet for water, for carbon, for a number of areas, and also in terms of the benefits that AI can bring to fight against climate change or to help with adaptation. These conversations about climate and AI and energy are continuing. For example, the International Energy Agency is publishing a series of reports on where the data centers are in the world that are being built for AI, how much energy they consume, and what the scenarios are for the future consumption so that we can better have a measure of how much this will really represent in the future. This is in terms of sustainability. Now, before I move to the area you're discussing today, safety, security, trust, I'd like also to say a word about what we announced for Europe and why we made announcements for Europe at the Paris summit. Of course, we're all very aware of the US ambitions for AI. We were already aware at the time because on 21st of January, the day after the US presidential inauguration, in the White House, there was this announcement of Project Stargate, $500 billion for AI infrastructure in the US. We know this only more acutely now after the publication of the US AI Action Plan a few days ago and their executive orders, but we already knew this at the beginning of the year. We are in China. We also know how formidable the development of AI is in China. We have seen the richness of the ecosystem, the fast development from academia and from startups. We already knew this in Paris. We had seen about the end of January all the news about DeepSeek emerging and being this so powerful and at the highest level of benchmarks LLM model. So it was very clear when we entered the Paris summit that we had formidable assets in the US and formidable assets in China. We wanted to make clear that there are also formidable assets in Europe and in other countries. There's a third wave for AI. So we gave a lot of room to companies and startups from France, of course, but also from Europe, from Canada, from Japan, from other countries. And we had big announcements by the European Commission and European companies on investment in AI. For example, $100 billion in euros investment in data centers in France and 200 billion euros announcements of investment by the European Commission and European companies. Because we can be discussing sustainability, public interest, safety, governance, but we have to start from a place where we understand the technology and we play a role in the technology. Now, in my final minutes, let me discuss what we did in this area of safety. First of all, we decided to be as specific as we could because we felt safety is a very broad term and a very broad area. So we decided to focus on security and cybersecurity, which is the technical area that we best understand in terms of its impacts from AI and also in terms of trust, which is what we think we need as consumers and as companies in terms of when we deploy technology. And we focused the work in Paris on shared standards, on better understanding the various voluntary commitments that were taken, and on releasing as many open source tools and frameworks as possible for disinformation, for tools to use AI on the internet, like the Ruse program and things like that. We also are very much a supporter of the collaboration between specialized institutes in various countries and regions. We created our own institute, which is called a Security and Evaluation Institute for AI. And we have joined the network of other institutes. Some of them have changed their names in the meantime, but that doesn't really matter. We're very keen to work with these various institutes to have regular gatherings and exchange of expertise and information so that together we can be stronger and we can build and develop both an understanding and tools about how to test and how to assess AI. So this is really a little bit of a summary of what we did in Paris in all these areas. I'm very happy to see this conference today. I'm very happy to also have an opportunity while I'm here to continue to see the impressive development of AI in China. And I wish you a very successful continuation of the day and very important discussions that are taking place here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madame Bouverot.